Alright, I wanted to make a video here on talking about operator overloading, and that's basically when you're able to do things like plus signs and minus signs and all sorts of stuff like that, and be able to do other functions with them other than maybe just simple addition. So let's go ahead and get started here. I'm just going to right click on my project here and hit add. I'm going to add a class. This is a Win32 Console Application too, so there's no GUI involved here. So I'm going to hit C++ class, I'm going to hit add, and class name, I'm just going to call this overloaded class, or I'm just going to call it overloaded. There's no base class, we're not going to do any inheritance here. It's going to generate our header method, our basically an interface, and it's also going to generate for us a, let me move this over a little bit, it's fine. And it's going to generate our class file as well. So here's our class file. Our constructor here. This is our constructor, right? This is our deconstructor, right? Okay, so going over here really quick, we're gonna make a private int number, right? And I'm used to some of my other ways of programming there. There we go. So private int number, and we're just going to leave it at that for this really, really basic example. I'm going to format that. There we go. All right, so private int number, and now we're going to set the this number. I'm going to set it to 0 on our constructor here. So it's just going to equal 0. And now let's make an overloaded method here really quick. Okay, and sorry about that. Yeah, so I had to pause really quick. I had an interruption. So basically, we're going to do some overloading here really quick. So we're going to make a getter and setter for our number first really quick. We're going to do void set number. We're going to do int get number. And we have to do int value. Right? And then we're going to make an overloader here, which is going to be operator plus. And let's pass a object of itself, let's say overloaded, and let's say object. And these are going to be our three methods. So we're going to overload the plus operator here. So maybe we'll do a plus and minus and all sorts of stuff, but this is pretty cool. So you'll see this is our constructor, deconstructor, right? We already went through that. So let's declare our other methods. Get number, we need to return this dot number, and void overloaded set number int value this dot number equals value, right? This should be an int, right? Gets the number. Always good to leave comments for yourself. Sets the number. And, that way when you get in the force of the habit later on, when you start writing other more malicious code, and you're looking back and wondering what in God's name you're doing, it gets a little bit easier to look back at. And finally, we need to make our overloaded operator as well. So I'm just going to copy and paste that there, and then we'll do overloaded operator. And it doesn't really matter where you put that curly brace, it's all personal choice of code design. And alright, so now we're going to overload this plus operator here. And what do we want to overload it as? Well, let's see, let's do this dot number plus equals object dot get number. Okay, so we're going to get the number. You can see here we're going to get this overloaded object's number, and we're going to take this number and equal it to that number. And equal to itself plus the other number, right? Alright, so let's do that. So we're going to go overloaded. I need to import it. Include overloaded. We're also going to include our IO stream too. And we're going to use namespace as well. And now we can see that we're going to go overloaded. Load 1, and we'll say overloaded load 2. Now all we have to say is load 1 plus load 2. Okay. And now it's going to see that I'm going to use load1's plus operator plus load2. And isn't that really interesting that all I have to do now is I'm just adding these two objects and the compiler understands exactly what I want. So now, or maybe we want to do a set. Maybe we'll do a set here in a second. We'll do cout load1's number equals load1 dot get number, cout load2's number equals load2 dot get number. Okay. This is just one really basic way of how you could do overloading. Maybe we'll get, when we get into like virtual and friend methods as well, that'll be a lot more interesting. So, and now we'll be able to see what they are. Let's do it before and after. So it's probably just going to equal 0 and 0. So I'm going to rebuild this solution here and make sure everything works. And if it doesn't, I'll pause it really quick, fix whatever needs to be, and then we'll rock and roll. Unexpected tokens following directive. Yeah, that would cause some issues. So yeah, let's rebuild it here really quick. And everything looks good to go. So start without debugging. And there we go, we have load1's number, so it's all zeros. That makes sense, but it functionally worked, right? That's exactly what we expected. I'm gonna put a space between these here, just by doing that. Let's change the numbers here. We're gonna go load1 dot set number, and let's do 10, and load2 dot set number. Let's do 25. All right, so we should get load 10 and then 25, and then this one should be 35 and this one should remain 25. So let's do that really quick here. Start without debugging, and look at that, so perfect. So we did a quick little demonstration of how you can do some operator overloading. So nothing too complicated here. If so desired, maybe I'll do some more complex versions as well, but right now that's just a really basic version. So alright, that concludes this video.